Hi, Trevor here, reflecting on live stream music. Thank you for stopping by. Well, coming again today, you're very welcome. I trust you enjoyed my last video on Petra frontman John Schlitt. Through his solo song, Show Me the Way, we looked at how good it is to be guided and led sometimes. So I trust you found that one encouraging. We're going from there to Australian songwriting music royalty today. The story started in 1953 in my hometown of Adelaide. This guy had studied a Bachelor of Arts and Philosophy at Flinders University, and there he met Verity Truman, Michael Atkinson, and the three of them got together and thought, hey, we can kind of sing pretty well here. We can kind of do some pretty groovy stuff. Let's form a band of those. So they formed Redgum. Now, Redgum would add Hugh McDonald later, Severity kind of flute and sax and a few other things. Michael on bass, Hugh acoustic guitar, violin, and John obviously songwriting and acoustic guitar and lead vocals. And Redgum well and truly got well known in local pubs and cafes around Adelaide. And it's while they were doing that, I suppose, getting noticed that John was actually teaching drama at Marion High School. But it was around 1980 that they decided, hey, let's give Redgum a bit of a go. And they never looked back from that point on. So I better get a couple of good songs from the Redgum days. We've got It Doesn't Matter to Me. Here we see John Schumann doing what he does so well, and that is bantering with the crowd. John Schumann is not scared to say things. He's not scared to call out things that are wrong, whether it's politics, whether it's the Vietnam War. We'll get on to one of these songs you've got to talk about him about when you talk about John Schumann. Whether it's PTSD with police officers, he's not scared to talk about things. And there's been a few things that he's said over the years that have been a little bit close to the bone. But, you know, John Schumann is John Schumann, and I think we do need people in the music industry, poets, which John Schumann is, to actually make some commentary. So It Doesn't Matter to Me. I'll sit home and watch it all on my colour TV. So a bit of a cynical look at life, but songs just have this way of absolutely just getting through. We also got a live version of The Long Run, probably one of John Schumann's most well-known songs, this one. And just listen to what Redgum were renowned for with the harmonies. And this song, particularly at the end where it goes a cappella, is absolutely stunning. So we've got The Long Run as well. Now, I'm not going to get onto the song just yet. We're going to talk a little bit more. He left, Redgum were constantly touring at this point. They're one of the biggest bands in the country at this point. But John thought, hey, you know, I'm missing out on my young family here. So in 1985, he decided to leave. And at that point, he actually returned back to teaching at Manila East High School, which is a school that Johnny just started at that point. But music was always calling to him. And back in 1987, he recorded the album Etched in Blue. Now, this is an absolutely stunning album, this one. It was good to see that John, I suppose, wanted to see what he was capable on his own without Verity, Michael and Hugh of Redgum, and to see what he could do. And we got a little, and think about John Schumann, he can be very serious at times, but you know what? Society needs to be hauled up at times. And to have a really good, serious, strong look at itself. And Etched in Blue is an absolutely stunning album from John Schumann. And off that, we've got a live clip of Borrowed Ground, which is all about, living on the land, having overdrafts that won't go down, having to feed our country, all of the balance of being in the farming community. John Schumann wasn't afraid to call this out. So around that time, though, he dabbled and think, hey, well, I've sort of got a bit of a voice, perhaps I'll have to go a bit of politics. And he gave Alexander Downer in the seat of mayor a really close run for his money, only just missing out on winning the seat to Alexander Downer. And he thought, well, that's all good. I might just not worry about that. So And then at the turn of the century, he sort of started to get into a little bit more of advocacy and running a bit of a production, speaking out kind of company. And from 2005 onwards, he's actually been touring with a mob called John Schumann and the Vagabond crew, including such albums as a tribute to Henry Lawson, and all the way forward to 2018, the song Graduation Day, which is all about police and PTSD. One of the in this official clip, a policeman's called to a scene, and next when he's got a child in his arms. What do you do about the trauma related to that particular thing? Well, John Schumann talks about the oath that the policemen actually make on graduation day to serve and protect the community. And so we've got Graduation Day. Official clip on that one. Watch it, it's pretty confronting, I must admit. Well, those of you that know Redgum and know John Schumann will be screaming at me at this point. What about the song? Okay, let's get on to it. 1983, out came I Was Only 19, A Walk in the Light Green. Now, the story goes that the light green was we're talking about Vietnam here, but the Vietnam War here, by the way, is around this time that Vietnam War was not looked on very, very kindly, not even by the RSL here back in Australia. And John Schumann's, hey, it was a war like any other war. And in a couple of clips we've got a couple of versions. We've got him on his own, and we've got a live version with the Vagabond crew as well. He talks about the fact that, we should never celebrate war, but we should celebrate those who went to fight. There's a bit of a difference between those two things. And I think I Was Only 19 really and truly got the Vietnam War front and centre into Australia's consciousness about the fact that this was a horrible war, this one in many, many ways, but it was a war and people went to do their bit. And nothing like Frankie screaming in the jungle as he's got a thing in his neck, in his back, or shrapnel in your back, or why do the Channel 7 choppers chill me to my feet? What this was, it race that comes and goes, and why are there nightmares, Doctor, why I can't get to sleep? We know the lyrics of this song really, really well, and I think we needed a song like this one to really just bring into Australia's consciousness the Vietnam War, and just the way we reflected about it and thought about it was a bit of a contentious war. Absolutely, in the United States in particular, it wasn't viewed very, very well at all. And so, but John Schumann had to tweak our consciousness about people who still went. And I think this is something we just need to realise about the things that happen. A big, massive thing happens. Next minute, people are doing all sorts of things they never thought they would. And we've got to when people come back from war, or PTSD, or injuries, whatever, you got people dealing with shattered lives. Absolutely. And John Schumann just needed to bring that to Australia's consciousness. And I'm thinking with this iconic Australian song, which interestingly, Triple J, Ozist 100, put this song at number 20 of those 100 songs. So it's really and truly shaped Australia's consciousness. And John Schumann's just got one of the voices, really, when that just homely but so strong and authoritative. I did actually see John Schumann and the Vagabond crew just a little while ago, and I thought, my goodness, world class. The vocals are absolutely stunning. The harmonies are good too. In fact, I saw John walking past at the Governor High March, and I just had to get up and shake his hand and say, oh my goodness, it's amazing what you've done to Australia. Thank you for your contribution to it. And he just smiled. We had a pretty nice little chat just then. And so it's good to give, and he did showcase a number of his songs that night. His songs are absolutely stunning. He's written songs for primary school concert events. He's written songs for all sorts of things. And, whenever he writes a song, he never disappoints. And so it's good to give John Schumann a bit of a go today. In 2014, he was given an Order, OAM, and then in 2022, a member of the Order of Australia, which is just a level above the OAM. So he's been acknowledged by this country a couple of times. So going all the way back to his Redgum days, his Flinders Uni days, all the way through to this solo career, Etched in Blue, through to songwriting, through to the Vagabond crew with all of just everything that John Schumann needs. We need incredible vocals on stage, just the way he has tweaked Australia's consciousness and not being scared to say things when they need to say that. Also having a bit of a laugh at himself, it doesn't matter to me. The long run, which I think I mentioned before, it'll be all right in the long run. And then just like, I've been to Bali too. And in the concert, actually, he actually said, I went to Plenton High. He changed the words completely to actually have a bit of a dig at his school. So always not scared to just have a bit of a tweak of Australia's consciousness, have a bit of a dig at himself as well. So it's good to get this legend of Australian music industry an absolute go today. So the links to those 5 clips are in the description below, and I've also included my last video from John Schlitt, so if you want to recap on him, feel free. Well, if this is your first time to Live Reflections of Music, or you come back for another one, how great to see everybody here. Well, I think I've covered all the Johns. I think we've done all of the Johns, unless I think of someone down the track, but I think they've all been done. So we're going to go back a little bit, back to the Hazes. We're going to look at legendary composer Henry Mancini. So until then, I'll catch you around. Bye for now.